You know, it's Friday afternoon, and the week is winding down here, but we're really beginning to gear up for the weekend. And just before we do, I just wanted to share what an exciting week this has been as I've met with people. I met with the leadership team and met with some of our elders and leaders. And God is just working in some incredible ways. And God is bringing to us people who are really hungry to know more about Christ and hungry to have a vital spiritual relationship. I hear story after story about how people, some of whom have stepped out and have broke kind of the bondage of consumerism and have started for maybe the first time giving to God, and how God has just honored that and God has surprised them with many answers. I've been so encouraged by a number of your emails and notes that you send just about how God is working in your life and how God is restoring you. And of course, the biggest kind of miracle, I suppose, in our midst was seeing Bob Havens a couple weeks ago walk onto our platform. Here was someone that the doctor said is not going to make it, doesn't have time to live, and God has just restored his life. And what God is doing in Bob's life, I just see God duplicating spiritually in the life of so many people, bringing them alive in Christ and with a fresh passion. We're working on this week about our weekend message about just the gifts that God gives us to steward, and that God has a plan and a purpose for each of us. And God has uniquely equipped us to do something of eternal value. And as we're going to look just at that challenge and what God invites us to do in faith, it made me realize how many of you it takes for us to have a ministry here at Calvary and at all of our three campuses. And literally, it is hundreds of volunteers. And I know there was a time in some of your lives when you felt a burden for something and felt a burden for a particular ministry, or you saw a need at the church or need in the community, and you began to pray about that, and somehow God prompted you to just step out of your comfort zone and to do what you could to help meet that need, and how God has just strengthened your faith because of that. And I just want to say thank you for doing that, because you have just created this amazing environment where people find it safe to come and have their questions about Christianity answered. And you've created this marvelous environment where people who have a faith in Christ can learn and they can grow in their faith. And often the ways that we do that is by serving. And that's what we really want to talk about this week, is just how God grows our faith and how God takes us into a deeper walk of faith. I just want to remind you that Sunday is Time Change Sunday. We are springing forward. And yeah, it's the Sunday we lose an hour of sleep. So set your clock Saturday night. And I know that means of all weekends, this is a sleepy weekend. But please, this is a weekend I know you're not going to want to miss. And I've already had notes from people who have been working on our team saying, please let people know to come at the very beginning of the service, because the first song is just going to usher us into the presence of God and set a tone for the whole weekend service. So please, if you can, I know it's a rush getting kids and everybody here, but try to get here as the service begins. And there is an element of the service that you will have never seen before. And it's not just to be creative, it's an opportunity to help tell a story and to illustrate a point about what God invites us to do. And I know people are going to be talking about this for weeks, and it'll be this weekend at the Mid Rivers campus, and then you'll see it the next weekend at the West and the Connections campus. So please, I know some of you are on spring break. Really come back from Florida, because you are not going to want to miss this. And please be here. We're just excited. God is going to do something this weekend. Please join us. Have a great week. Get rest and refreshed in God's Spirit.